Thundershot here with what should be my final video on the whole Busby Thundershot saga. I'm going to break this into a few segments so that you can easily follow along with what you want to know. And we're going to start out with what I think is most important. Clarifying the whole situation, start to finish, start, middle, end. All of it. We're going to pack it all in here to start with. So if that's what you're interested in, let's get into it. Okay, number one, how did I get this model and all of a sudden everybody else gets the inferior model? How did that ever happen? Well, for one, it wasn't intentional. And all my information comes directly from Busby. I actually got to speak to the senior vice president yesterday. She reached out to me after I turned in a very heartfelt email where I was saying I'm probably not going to be able to work with them anymore due to the fact that, I always have had a very, very good positive working relationship with Busby. I give them feedback, negative or positive. And we're going to take a second here to go into this. The simple accusations made by some out there that say that Busby wants only positive feedback is not true. Never. Never has been. I've always been able to give feedback, positive, negative, or otherwise, positive, negative, neutral, to who I work with at Busby. Because I work with, she was VP and also the director of their marketing department at Busby headquarters in New Jersey. Well, I can give her whatever information I want to. She takes it, she passes it on to their R&D department, and we actually have the ones that have said that I am a Busby shill or whatnot. I've gotten tons and tons of messages that are hateful in all regards about that. But those who say that I am a Busby sellout or a shill or brainwashed by them, I'm not. Go watch my past videos over the last 3 or 4 years. I started working with Busby back about 2.5, 3 years ago at this point. You'll see negative reviews of Busby products since then. So if I'm a shill, I'm not a good one because there's been negative product reviews since then. The thing is, and I bring this up at the start of this video, is because I have given them feedback and we have seen them take that constructively and turn that into a better product. And I'll mention that with the frantic fury. I made a long post on Facebook yesterday after my phone call. I was reinvigorated because basically the senior vice president and the one I deal with always, which I'm going to leave their names out of it for their sake, but they reinvigorated my belief in the company. And no, I've never made a penny. This is not paid off in any way, shape, or form. I've never had a financial gain from Busby. They've never offered it, nor have I ever requested it. This is literally, I was a fan of the company since I bought my first double shot in 2004, and they offered to work with me 2.5, 3 years ago, and it's been a great working relationship where I can give feedback without concern. They're open to it, and they do actually, in sometimes, take that information and apply it to their products. Now, I don't have much influence. I'm a little guy still. I have just over 3,000 subscribers, and you guys are awesome. The guys and gals who support me, you are all fantastic, and I love it. And the ones who have stuck with me, knowing that I am not biased, because you can be a fan of something without being biased. There is a possibility. Some people, like myself, are able to say, I like this company, but I'm still going to give you an honest review, and if there is something that I want to see improved, it's because I like the company, and I want their products to be the best they can be. That can be the case. Think of the football teams who, this football season has started. I used to play middle linebacker, and I was a kind of gimmick quarterback. You want your team to be the best it is when you're a fan of them. If you see, hey, that player's not good, we need to get somebody new, or that guy needs to work on things. You're not saying that because you hate the team. You're not biased against them, and you're not going to let things slide because you like the team. You want that to be the best there is. That's how I am with Busby. I want to give them the feedback, especially when it's negative. And they've never, ever once tried to control my reviews. Never once. I'm going to address that now. Now let's move on to the whole segment of what happened. Busby had 2 working prototypes of the Thundershot. They had this one here, and this one here is a sliding black catch. This is the one they sent me for test. And this one was the production model. The senior vice president actually had this one in her office along with a few others, sent it to me first because of the fact that they like the working relationship we have. It's not about numbers. She said that herself. It's about they want good, trustworthy working relationships. They don't want influencers who aren't going to give their products a fair chance. And she herself said they don't care if your feedback is negative. They want a fair shot at a good review. Meaning, a good review, not as in this product's good, as in they want a reviewer who will not intentionally be harsh on their product. They also don't want a reviewer who's going to intentionally be glorifying their product. They want a well-done review. And they want to hear the feedback if it's bad. So they believe in me in that way. They think that I'm going to tell them the right thing. So I get, the right thing as in, you need to work on this, this is bad, this is good, this is great. I'll give them a checklist, which I do. And I pass that on. So I actually got to be the first one. She sent that from her office in Chicago, Illinois. And that was a production model, as they claimed it was. But what happened was, the two working prototypes, they have at least two factories, and this is from speaking with her yesterday in a long phone call meeting. They have at least two factories in two different provinces in China. So multiple provinces in China, multiple factories in two different ones. There was an issue with the two working prototypes, the two designs, totally different. One failed Busby's approval. That was the one that has the hammer trigger sear style mechanism, as I call it. The working model here with the black slide, this one was approved for production. The other one wasn't. However, somehow a factory of theirs started producing the inferior model in higher numbers and got it to the retailers. They've instructed the retailers to pull that model. I went and checked this to verify. I had my phone call with her after about 3 o'clock. It went from about 3 to 4 in the afternoon yesterday. I went to my Walmart, found all the Thundershots were gone. Every one of them. There wasn't one to be found. The whole shelf area was empty where they were supposed to be. So I verified what she said to be true. Now, my video, Revisiting the Thundershot, was what prompted this. They hadn't actually realized that there was that issue until my video. So there was a huge quality control issue. That's also why the darts were so bad in some cases. On what I tested, I had huge batches of the long distance darts that glue wasn't on the dart at all. Some of the tips you could just pop right out. Glue was overdone on some of the darts. Glue was everywhere on some of the darts. The tips sometimes weren't even fully seated into the foam. I had one that actually had like a 1/4 inch gap. It was like the foam peg, or the peg of the dart tip was barely in the foam at all. And just a glob of glue was holding it attached. And I actually took part in providing them with video footage, photographic evidence of that they shared at an emergency meeting over 2 weeks ago. Yesterday would have made 2 weeks ago, actually. So 2 weeks in one day. Because that occurred on a Thursday evening that lasted well into the evening for them. And they were meeting with their factory to fix this issue. Because of the 2 weeks, people went crazy. Busby's been working on this the whole time. They hadn't been in contact with me since that meeting. All I had said was, we're working on it, we'll get to you when there's more information. And I hadn't heard anything since. Well, turns out that they have done everything that they said they were going to try to do. Fix the problem, get the bad products off the shelves, get the proper products to the shelves, and work on the quality control issues. So, factory mistake in China with one of the factories in the two different provinces of China that they work in. It's taken this long to solve that problem and get the unapproved design, get the production stopped, get the approved design, the better one, get it ramped up like rush production, get Walmart to pull the product off the shelves, and then get that rushed production, those supplies, to Walmart to replace that. That's taken this time. That's why now a few people are showing pictures and making comments, hey, I found the good model on the shelves. That's why. It takes a little time. So that problem has been taken care of. Now let's move on to the next segment. The deletion of comments on social media, the censorship of that was not Busby. And some people say, well, whoever did it, it's in a Busby official page, therefore it's Busby. Busby's gotta be held accountable. Calm that for a second. That's why I was actually going to officially end my partnership with them. Things can't be censored. There's got to be the ability to give public feedback about a public, product in the public. You've got to be able to provide feedback, good or bad. You have to. That's accountability. Well, it was Venerated Media who actually runs the social media for Busby. They're under contract and agreement, and Busby gave me their word. We're working on it. We're going to handle this situation. And things were said about me by Venerated Media, and I am going to be public here in this statement. Things were untrue about what they said about me, and they've said this to other fellow content creators who have much bigger audiences than me. I never once have agreed to skew my reviews for Busby, despite what Venerated Media claimed. Never once. Busby has never put a stipulation to my reviews ever. They send me the products, they say, thanks for all you do, here's some more blasters, look forward to your reviews. That's literally, word for word, some of the emails. I actually put up an email with, the personal information of my contact, edited out, it's on my Discord. It's there. I wanted to make sure, full disclosure, that's what I believe in. They don't stipulate anything like that, and I've never agreed to that. So the statements made by Venerated Media to other fellow content creators saying that I agreed to allow them to edit my reviews is not true. Nobody edits my videos. I'm a dude here doing this by myself. I edit my videos on my own computer that I have now it's a 5-year-old gaming computer that I use for video editing. I'm the only person who edits mine. I send them to Busby directly. I do not deal with Venerated Media. I dealt with them one time last year. If you guys have been around for a while, I had a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. Venerated Media did indeed work with me on that. They handled, providing the blasters. The blasters didn't come to me. The blasters went directly to the winners. Venerated Media promoted my giveaway on the social media pages, and then I provided them with the winners, and they sent the blasters to the winners. And then Venerated Media, basically their interaction with me was done. They sent me a water blaster earlier in previous time, but all my dart blasters come through Busby. I don't deal with Venerated Media for dart blasters at all. This was provided to me directly from Busby, directly from the Senior Vice President's office. She told me that. So Venerated Media runs the social media sites. All the pages, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and the Facebook page that deleted all the comments. They were responsible for that. Senior Vice President Busby, she told me they would look into this, as well as the comments that said that I was allowing them to edit my content. They do not. They do not have my permission to edit my content. They never had my permission. I don't have that stipulation. They are not allowed to delete comments on my behalf. They are not allowed to edit my footage in any way, shape, or form. And if I find that they do, there will be ramifications. Because that's not permitted. And that is totally false. And the information that they shared with other content creators, spreading that false information, led to comments that others made. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not out to do that. So that's that segment done. What happened with the social media presence? That was Venerated Media entirely. I have been confirmed. I never ever have to deal with Venerated Media. I never will. The Senior Vice President, as well as my normal contact, who herself is the Vice President / Director, they assured me I will never have to ever have any interaction with them, with Venerated Media, ever again. I don't want to. It won't be good if I have to. Because any interaction will be me confronting them on what they've done. Because falsifying information to other people in a bad light is slanderous. And I would actually possibly have a case against Venerated Media. I'm not going to pursue that, at the current time. I'll leave it there. But yes, false information to paint you in a negative light in the eyes of others in the public sense. I mean, there is a precedent for that, and that's what's happened. That's why you've seen comments about reviewers who are bought out, who are sellouts, who are shills, who are brainwashed. Those comments came from venerated media passing on false information. That can't happen. That was not Busby's fault. The Busby cannot be held accountable for that. At least in my eyes. I'm not going. Last segment of the video. The future going forward. This is where I'm going to go open-ended. Already dealt with the issue with what happened with the Thundershot, what happened with the social media. So going forward, if you didn't see my post on Facebook, I put a long post saying that I now am more firmly standing with Busby than ever. The fact that they were willing to reach out to me, a small influencer, because I am, in the eyes of some people, they're way bigger than me, and, you know, I'm just a little guy. That's true. 100%. I am just a little guy. But I'm me. I am who I am. I say what I'm going to say. I give full honesty, full truthfulness. Always have, always will. Yes, I love Busby. It's obvious. I mean, I'm not going to shy away from it. They're my favorite because I've now been buying their products all the way since 2004. That's a long time. And I don't even hate Nerf. I don't hate any Dart Blaster company. How can you? They provide fun stuff that entertains us and makes our lives a little better. In a silly, fun way. And to me, the silliest and most fun of all the companies is Busby. They do things that are different, that are unique. And I don't care that they're not the absolute pinnacle of performance. And you shouldn't either. I mean, if that's all you're going to care about is the best or nothing, and the best is very subjective. The best blaster to somebody may be totally different from the blaster that you say is best. Or that another person, or another person. Everybody might find something that suits them best. This just came up with a couple of discussions talking about top prime versus pump action. There isn't a better choice. There's not. Both have attributes that are good. And you might have a personal preference that says, I like pump action. Somebody else may say, I like top prime. Somebody may say, like me, say, I like both. I do. I like top prime and I like pump action. They have their place. And everything has a place. Busby has a place. What drew me in originally? It was a double shot. No, it didn't outperform everything. It has decent performance. And it's fun. It's like putting darts into a shell, loading the shells, flicking the barrel back up, firing, and then shells ejecting. It's fun. And yeah, sometimes they do break. Mine have been pretty reliable. I've got a bunch of them. Sometimes the hinge breaks. Sometimes the rope comes untied. Sometimes the catch breaks. It happens. I mean, some of these are really old at this point. But they're fun. Busby Destiny still remains my favorite blaster to this very day because it's fun. Is it the most practical? No. Because you gotta pump that thing up like crazy. You load 20 darts in the clip, and all of a sudden you go brrr, and it's gone. Repeat the process. And somebody with a modded flywheeler will be able to outdo you. Yes. You know, a modded rapid strike firing 8 darts a second is, you know, commonplace. And they're not only are they firing the 8, 9, 10 darts a second, they're doing it at 130, 40 feet per second. That's not that rare anymore. Back 10 years ago, that wasn't existing, but now it's commonplace. So, everything has a place. And I've seen a lot of comments headed towards me about how Busby is no good anymore. Yeah, they've always been the exact same company that they are now. They produce some good blasters, some very fun blasters, some weird ones that are, you know, unique. And then, of course, every company makes some bad ones here and there. That's how it works. That applies for anything, not just dart blasters. But my future going forward is that I'm going to be sticking with what I already enjoy. And because now I have renewed faith and trust in Busby handling things properly. I can safely put my stamp of approval on them as a company, more so now than I ever did even before. And those out there who question me, it's on their own conscience to deal with. And I mean, it's shameful that that happened. Some people know what I'm talking about. Some people know, the ones that send me hateful messages, the ones that talked about me. You know who you are. I'm not going to call you out. That's on you to search your soul and why you would go so hateful over somebody who just has something they like. So that's what it is. I like Busby. I also like Nerf. I also like Dart Zone. I love X-Shot. I mean, look at my very last video. I just hydro dipped and modded an X-Shot quick slide. That thing's been fun. I've been messing around with it since the video. I like all the brands. I like them all. I don't have a brand that I just absolutely can't stand other than Romker now. And maybe that brand can redeem itself, but I don't see so. But to bring this to an end, I'm sticking with Busby. They solved their problem. It was a simple problem that took, I'm sure it was a monstrous hurdle for them to overcome. And then dealing with the impact of the social media issue with venerated media, I'm sure was a big problem. But in closing, it applies to this video. And this is something I hope that everybody will either skip to or will stick around and share with others. When you go to a Walmart and you see a Thundershot on the shelf, how do you know whether it's good or bad? How do you know whether the Walmart you're in has pulled the product and replaced it with the better one as Busby gets it to him? Here's how. Forget the matte cylinder. I seen a very angry person doing a review, supposedly, of theirs yesterday. And they said that they had the matte cylinder. The senior vice president of Busby told me herself, this cylinder, the finish, it just was coincidence that mine had a matte cylinder. They said shiny versus matte cylinders are not, that's not a key sign to look for. There's going to be some of these black catch that come with a shiny cylinder. They said that is a consistency of the plastic being used at the current time. Just like 3D printed filament can have varying levels of quality or consistency from one shipment to the next, or any product can. This blaster, you can have a good catch and it be a shiny cylinder. You could have a bad catch with a matte cylinder. The cylinder, whether it's shiny or matte, you cannot count on that. So, like, I think his name's Coney Dog. You gotta take your blaster apart because he's already broke his. He said he probably has the bad catch because he was basing it solely off the cylinder, and you can't do that. Here is how. Prime it. If the trigger moves under prime, avoid it. The sliding catch has no interaction with the trigger during prime. Prime it. Look for the trigger. You can do this in the package. You can 100% test this in the package before you ever even pull the blaster off the shelf. Just in the shelf there, pull this down. If the trigger moves, do not buy. Leave it there. Well, that means your Walmart hasn't pulled that product yet. If you see no movement, you're good to go. Go ahead and grab that and you'll have the same one I have in my hands. So that's how you check. Check it by priming it. And yeah, you don't really want to dry fire blasters, but it's fine with a stock one that has the ARs still in place. Just prime it and then pull the trigger to deprime it. That's all you got to do. And that way you know whether to spend your $10 or not. Now some people are still not going to want the Thundershot, but once the good trigger and priming setup comes out, I'm going to go buy a bunch of them. Because I like them. They're goofy, they're silly, they're fun. And I have a video coming up where the Onion Bro off of Reddit, and he also joined my Discord, he actually sent me a care package of a couple of his kits that go on the Thundershot, and I'm absolutely stoked to try those out. They look awesome. He sent them to me in a translucent orange, and my goodness, those things look so good. They fix the grip problem. They allow you to choose one of 3 different types of barrel attachments. It's so good. It deserves its own hydro dipping and paint jobs, and I'm going to do a couple of them in just in honor of his work that he put into that, because it looks so good. And that's a lesson. He took this, even thinking that, hey, this blaster's not so great. He went and spent the time to actually custom design and print a kit that takes care of this whole grip issue. And I love it. So that'll be a separate video coming up. Plus, the 2 that I have that have the bad internals, I'm making some metal parts for those. So I'm going to get to showcase those too. But that'll be a future video, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Hope this cleared up a lot. And I do appreciate it if you did stay to the end. Thanks for watching. Till next time.